Hello, my name is MooingCat and welcome to part 1 of this guide on how to start a brand new world. You can find all the other parts of this guide in the written version or the video playlist linked in the description. Now in this part I will cover the start of your new city, the first 15 or so minutes. That might sound like a short period, but the first 15 minutes of the world can be quite hectic and they are also very important for a good foundation. Now, the very first thing you need to do is to simply complete the tutorial. Click your way through it, completing all the prompts, and then when the prompts run out, research spares and do the second half of the tutorial. Now, if you are brand new to the game, I recommend actually reading and understanding the prompts, but if you are experienced, simply click your way through. You don't need to read any of this. And this applies to future prompts and information texts as well. If you are new to the game, make sure to read them, otherwise things in this guide might not make sense. Now, once you've gone through the tutorial, I recommend unlocking potteries as well in the technologies, and then the first step is to update your layout. The way I like to do this is to simply delete all roads, move buildings to one side of the city, and then start building by moving the town hall. I am working towards this layout here, so the first thing I do is lay out all the roads, and then I start building my buildings. Now, doing this, I take care that I don't spend all of my resources. One important resource early on is the story quests, so I need to keep an eye on those and be able to complete those. Now, for this section, in order to complete those, you need to build 3 stilt houses, and you also need 2 potteries for quests later on. I wouldn't recommend building more of these stilt houses or potteries though. I recommend going for huts and hunters instead, because these are a little bit more efficient early on when you are able to collect quite frequently. Later on we will get rid of these as well, but for now I prefer using those over stilt houses and potteries. They are also much cheaper to build. Now at this time you should unlock all 4 slots of your spear fighter barrack and recruit all 4 units. At this point you will also get a story quest to buy a forge point, do that and unlock the next technology, the wheel, for another expansion. You should place that now, but if like me you forget, you can do it in a couple of minutes, that's no problem. So right now, complete your initial layout according to your plan, and by the time you have that completed, you should have all 4 spear fighters recruited. With these units, you should now continue on the continent map, fighting the next 2 sectors of the initial province. This will be very easy to do. You definitely can auto-fight these, but I recommend manually fighting them. First of all, I recommend turning on this setting here to enable highlighting of unattached units. Unattached units, if you don't know, are units that you don't get through your barracks in your city. So if you recruit units through a building, they are attached, and if you lose them, you can recruit them again in the barrack, but unattached units are not recruited from any of your buildings, and if you lose them forever. Now, with these 6 spear fighters, you will easily win the final 2 fights. Try not to lose the unattached units. Not a big deal if you do, but better if you don't. Now, after you've taken these 2 sectors, you should start scouting the next 2 provinces, starting with the one to the right. This will take a couple of minutes, so we will be back to more fighting in the next part of this guide. For now though, you are more or less done with the initial setup. You are stuck now on story quests until you are able to research one more technology, which we will be able to do in a little under 2 hours in part 3 of this guide. But while we wait for that, it is important that you keep on collecting, and I also recommend continuing to fight on the continent map. But more on that in the next part of this guide. Alright, that's it for this part. Hopefully you found it helpful. You can find all the other parts linked in the description through the playlist or the written guide. And with that, let me thank my Patreons before I end this video. I would like to thank Homestar, Fort Prefect, Lorden, Rockanobin, Kim Cayley, Rolf the 8th, PQ the Goat, Dan Suminad, JT, The Rev, Merrick B, Hugo Kant von Count, Jan Fredriksen, Jude Genovese, Filda, Rush, Susan Weiss, Megarock, Rocco, Eric, Henrik Dare Klerberg, Mattia, Upshy the Obsessed, Raph, Kim, Adaril, Mike, Wolfboy, and Flavius Belisarius. Thanks a lot for watching, take care, and I will see you in the future.